Good morning students and welcome to our YouTube channel Gnan Manjari Modern School. So in the previous video we have seen the animals of cold region, in that the animals which are on the high mountains. That was the last topic of our previous videos, and before that we have seen the desert plants. So let us first of all discuss about the previous video. So in the desert plant what we have seen, that was, so the desert are having the dry region. So what happens? There is not minimum amount of the water so that the plants can grow. So the desert plants have adapted that situation that they can live without water. So for that there are some of the things in the plants that were. So the first one, cactus and prickly pear, are two typical desert plants. They have very long roots that go deep inside the soil in search of water. So firstly, the desert plants have long roots which can go deep inside the soil. Okay. Secondly, they have thick and fleshy stem. So their stem is thick and fleshy, so that they can store water. Okay, they can store water in the stem. Thirdly, instead of leaves with a large surface area from which they can lose moisture, desert plants have thorns. This reduces the loss of water. So the desert plant doesn't have what? It doesn't have leaves. Instead of leaves, they have thorns. Which what they do? They just reduce the loss of water. Fourth point, that was, thorns also protect as they discourage animals from eating up the plants. It ensures that the species continue. Here, what happens? Thorns also just distract the animals which just eat that plants. Okay. And the fifth and the last, that was, as the plants have no leaves, the stem of these plants prepare food from the plants. Okay, here the leaves are not there, so what happened? They just prepare food from the stems. Okay, and the next thing that we have seen, the plants which are in the not desert but the areas where there is less rainfall. So what are some of the adaptations of that plants? That is, first one, that is here, not first, plants that grow in the arid region other than the deserts have also developed various means of survival. Plants in the Mediterranean areas which have dry summers have waxy or leathery leaves, as seen in the citrus family: orange, lemon, lime, grapefruit, and so on. Secondly, thick bark such as the cocoa, or third one, long roots such as the grape. So these are the things which have in the not desert plant, the plants which are in the dry regions. And the next we have seen, that was animals in the cold region, in that the animals in the high mountains. So here the animals in the high mountains, first of all, what they have long foot, so that they can protect their body from the cold, and also have a thick layer of fat so that they can just keep their body warm. And also they have the gripped foot. So what when they just jump from one stone to the other, so they just don't slip and just go down. They just have grip to maintain their body. So these things we have seen in the animals on the high mountains. Now let us first of all read that. So here, that is, animals that live in very cold regions have bodies covered with thick fur on to protect them from the cold. Second, that they have a thick layer of fat below the skin for further protection. Animals that live on high mountain are sure-footed. They jump from one rock to the another without sleeping. The llama, vicuna, and alpaca in South America, the mountain goats of the Himalayas, the Chiru antelope of Tibet, and the Chamez antelope of the Alps are all sure-footed animals. The yak is the beast of burn in the Tibet. It provides milk and meat for protection in the Himalayas cold. The yak has thick, long hair. Cows and buffalo cannot survive the cold. The chiru and the pashmina goat of Kashmir have wool that is soft and warm. These animals have adapted themselves to the cold on the mountain. So they have just adapted themselves with the cold. Okay, students, now moving forward to the next, that is animals in the Taiga and Tundra region. Okay, animals in Taiga and Tundra region. Here in the Taiga and Tundra region, most animals have white fur that merge with the snowy background, nature's protection, so that they are not spotted easily. So here Taiga and Tundra region, what is that? So that is very cold and there is snow. So what happened? The snow is white. If they are of different color, then they can be spotted easily. So their fur is matched with their background, that is white. So they have white fur over its body, so they cannot be spotted easily. Okay. Then here the snowy owl of the polar regions have white feathers that has camouflage in the daytime. During summer, when the sun never sets, it has to hunt for food in the daylight. The white color makes it unnoticeable against the snow. Its leg and claw are also covered with white feathers. Here, talking about the snowy owl, let us write that point on the board. That is the snowy owl, the snowy owl of the polar region has white fur, white feathers, not fur, feathers that have camouflage in the daytime. So this is the first adaptation of the Taiga and Tundra region. That here talking about the snowy owl. So here we have seen the owl in our region, that is like of brownish color. Okay, but in the Taiga and Tundra region, what it is, the snowy owl of the polar region has white feathers that has camouflage it in the daytime. Means in the daytime they do not get spotted. For that they have white feathers over the body. Second one, that is the Arctic or the silver fox. Arctic hare and polar bear are some of the other animals with thick fur. Here, second one, that is the Arctic or silver fox. Silver fox Arctic have and polar bear are some of the other animal with thick food. Okay, with thick food. So here are some of the animals that also have a thick food. So for what they have thick food? For the protection of their body from the cold. They have a thick food, that is white food. So they just do not just coat it easily. Okay, for that they have a white food. Third one, the reindeer has thick food and a layer of fat beneath it. It also has flat holes that enables it to walk on snow and eyes and big for moose. The caribou and the moose of North America are similar to the reindeer. So you are talking about the reindeer. So here they also have a white food outside their body and a thick layer of fat inside their skin. So what happens? The food which is on the outside, they protect their body from the cold, and the thick layer of the fats, they just keep the body warm. Okay, and also they have a gripped leg. So when they just run on the snow, okay, they just have enough grip to stop themselves and to run forward. Okay, now writing that. The reindeer has thick food and a layer of fat beneath it. Okay. Now, thirdly, the musk ox has super soft, extra warm underfoot that keeps it warm in Arctic Canada. So here, see here the picture is given of musk ox. Okay, so what it just keeps? So the musk ox has a super soft, extra warm underfoot that keeps it warm in Arctic Canada. So here writing that. The musk ox has super soft, extra warm underfoot that keeps it warm in Arctic Canada. Okay, so these are some of the adaptations of the animals of the region, that is tundra and tundra regions. Okay, students, if you want to write this, then you can write down. Okay, students, now moving forward to the
our new point, that is plants of mountain regions and taiga region. Plants of mountainous regions and taiga region. Okay, so here, that is plants that grow in these two regions have adapted themselves to heavy snowfall and strong wind. The trees that grow here are pine, fir, deodar, larch, redwood, and spruce. The plants grow straight and tall with short sloping branches so that snow slides off the branches. They also have needle-shaped leaves. They are even green trees and are called the conifers because they have ear cones. Here, in this types of the region, how the trees adapt themselves. So here in this type of region, there is very heavy snowfall. So what happens due to the snow? If there is very much snow, so what happens? The trees, leaves, and branches will just covered with the snow. So what happens? Snow will stay on that only. So the tree cannot get the enough sunlight and some of the other things. So here, what they have a special structure so that the snow just float down to the ground. Okay, so the snow will not stay in the tree. They have adapted like that. So here, first one, plants that grow in these two types of region adapted themselves. Here, the first point we will write, that is plants that grow in this two region regions have adapted themselves to heavy snowfall and strong wind. Strong winds. Okay. Here, the first, already we have seen this point, that is plants that grow in these two regions have adapted themselves to heavy snowfall and strong winds. So here we can see the trees which grow over this region, that are the trees that grow here are pin, fir, deodar, larch, redwood, and spruce. Okay, So these are the trees, and the plants grow straight and tall with short sloping branches so that the snow slide is off the branches. So these are some of the adaptations of the plants of mountainous region and the taigas region. Okay students, now here we just move towards the new topic, that is plants other techniques for survival. Here some of the plants in the other regions, how they just survive themselves. Okay students, so before that, if you want to write this, then you can write down. So here the last point of this chapter, that is plants other techniques for survival. Plants other techniques for survival. So here plants that grow in the windy regions such as the grasslands are flat topped or umbrella shaped so that they expose very little of themselves area to wind. This is the way to survive the windy conditions. Here you can see flat topped trees. Here you can see the picture which is given. It is like the umbrella where there is a topped and a flat. Okay, so that plants that grow in the windy regions such as grasslands are flat topped or umbrella shaped so that the plants they expose very little to themselves area to the wind. This is the way to survival the wind condition. Nature ensures that all living things are adapted to their environment. Here, the nature has just given some of the functions of the body. That means they just adapt themselves to the environment. Here, flowers that blooms during day are bright color to attract bees, butterflies, and birds that help in pollination. Flowers that bloom at night are white so that they can be seen in the dark, and strong skin so that they can attract moths. Moths helps in pollination and fertilization. In the absence of fertilization, the species would die out. Some butterflies look furious to frighten away birds that comes to on eat them. The ostrich kick is so powerful that it can kill a lion. There are all adaptations by the animals. So here also they have given some of the adaptation, means the some of the plants are bright in the daytime so that they just attract for the pollination, and in the night time they are white so that just need the fertilization and pollination. Okay, if they just do not do that, then their species will die out. Okay students, so here we have just completed our chapter. So in your homework, what you just do is homework, you just find out the answers of exercise. Okay, and in next video I will just give the answers of it and you just verify, and I will just put a PDF of the question answers in the group, and which you have to write down in your
fair book. Okay students, we will meet in the next video. Okay, bye students.